Hello everyone, this is Dr.P.Syamala from the Department of MBA International Business, Acharya Nagarjuna University. This is the topic relating to SCRA, continuation for the previous classes. Okay, and in this class we are going to learn about the additional trading floor, licensing of dealers, okay, public issues, listing of securities, delisting of securities, okay, what are the conditions, requirements, etc. And if we see about the additional trading floor, okay, so additional trading floor means any stock exchange may establish additional trading floor. We all know trading floor is where the purchases and selling of securities will be done. Okay, so a stock exchange may establish additional trading floor with the prior approval of the SEBI, okay, in accordance with the terms and conditions stipulated by the board. So, if at all any trading floor is going on, if at all it want any other additional trading floor, means first it has to take permission from the SEBI. So, for the purpose of this section, additional trading floor means a trading or trading facility offered by a recognized stock exchange outside its area of operation to enable investors, okay, to buy and sell securities through such trading floor under the regulatory framework of the stock exchange. Okay, additional trading floor by the recognized stock exchange. Why? Because to have ease for the investors, to enable investors, to make it easy, okay, to buy and sell securities. Then here we see contracts in notified areas only to be void in certain circumstances. Okay, we all know that contracts. So what are contracts? These contracts entered into any state or area specified in the notification under section 13. If at all contravention is there, okay, so in that specific cases, okay, the right of any member of the recognized stock exchange who has entered into such contract which are contraventions, means they are those contracts are considered as void contracts. Okay, likewise here members may not act as principals in certain cases also. Okay, so which members means the members of a recognized stock exchange. Okay, if at all any member is a member of a recognized stock exchange, means he should not act as a principal person in any other he should not enter into any other contract as a principal member. Okay, so unless he has secured consent or authority of such person and discloses it in the note or memorandum of association, they have to show that the so and so person is entering into contract and he so and so person is there in the memorandum of association, or else the sale or purchase that he is going to take. Okay, so that should be in a written consent. Likewise, power to prohibit contracts in certain cases also. Okay, so power to prohibit contracts means central government, if at all it is of opinion that it is necessary to prevent any undesirable speculation in special securities in any special area or any state, means through notification in official gazette it declares that no person in the state or area specifies in the notification shall save the permission of the central government enter into any contract for sale or purchase of any security specified in the notification, except to the extent in the manner if any specified therein. Okay, so after the date of entering into contract, after the date of notification issued, means it is considered as illegal. Okay, so in certain cases like this, after entering into contract after the date of notification is considered as illegal. Likewise, licensing of dealers also in securities in certain particular areas only licensing will be given by the SCRA or else SEBI will issue. Okay, so subject to certain provisions. Okay, here licensing of dealers in certain areas only. So to subject to provisions contained in the act, no person shall carry on, okay, whether on his own behalf or on behalf of any other person, the business of dealing in securities in any state or area has not been declared to apply, to which the central government may, by notification in the official gazette, declare this section will apply except under the authority of a SEBI on his behalf. Okay, so licensing of dealers in securities in certain areas only will be provided by the central government. This can be declared through official gazette, notification through official gazette. Likewise, if at all no notification shall be issued with respect to any state or area, unless central government is satisfied that, having regard to manner in which securities are being dealt with in such state or area, that it is desirable or expedient in the interest of the trade or else interest of the public interest, should be regulated by system of licensing. In that case also, licensing of dealers in securities will be held. Okay, means if at all it is for the public interest, for the interest of trade, then it will be regulated by the system of licensing. Okay, in special states or areas, if at all the central government should satisfy, then only it will issue licensing, or else it will not issue the licensing. So it will see what means a public interest and interest of trade. Okay, next, restrictions also imposed in relation to dealings in securities shall not apply to the doing of anything on behalf of a member of any recognized stock exchange. Okay, licensing will not be given to any member of the recognized stock exchange. So this is about the licensing of dealers in certain case areas. Now if we see public issue and listing of securities. Okay, so public issue or listing of securities under this, first of all, listing means where securities are listed. Okay, listing of securities means where securities are listed on the application of any person in any recognized stock exchange. Such person shall comply with conditions of the listing agreement with that stock exchange. Okay, so the particular company, okay, the issuer, he should apply to the recognized stock exchange that he will comply with the conditions of the listing agreements, then only their company will be listed, okay, in the securities. Otherwise, delisting of securities, what does the delisting of securities means? A recognized stock exchange may be delisted, okay, after recording the reasons therefore any recognized stock exchange on any of the ground or grounds as may be prescribed under the act may delist the company. Okay, okay, if at all, if any company is delisted from the securities, listed means adding, okay, listing means adding in the stock exchange, their company's name is added in the stock exchange. Okay, their company's name is added in the stock exchange. Delisted means their company is omitted from the stock exchange. Okay, so if at all any company is delisted means, then that company owner or else that issuer may file an appeal before SAT, Securities Appellate Tribunal, against the decision of the recognized stock exchange. Okay, delisting securities within 15 days from the date of filing. Okay, and this Securities Appellate Tribunal may, if it is satisfied that company was prevented by sufficient cause from filing that appeal within the said period, then it will allow it to be filed within a period not exceeding 1 month. It can file. Okay, so first of all, it has to file within 15 days. Then if at all the SAT feel that it is required means, then it allows to take the case, okay, to file that case for the period not exceeding 1 month. Okay, then this right of appeal against list of stock exchanges, okay, to listed securities of public companies means here also the same procedure for listing. Appeal against refusal of stock exchanges to listed securities means where a recognized stock exchange acting in pursuance of any power given to it by laws refuses to list the securities of any public company, okay, then that company shall be entitled to be furnished with reasons for such refusal. Okay, so within 15 days, same here also, the reason for refusal should be furnished, and where the stock exchange has omitted or failed to dispose within the time, okay, specified, then the application for permission of shares debentures to be dealt with on the stock exchange within 15 days from the date of expiry of specified time, not exceeding 1 month. So here if at all stock exchange has failed to furnish the details why it is delisting the company means, so it has to give within 15 days, okay, the reasons, okay. Likewise it has not exceeding 1 month, also it should furnish all the details and case should be filed. Okay, next one is here public issue. See here public issue, that is about the listing delisting, and if we see here every issuer before issuing the offer document to the public, okay, every issuer before issuing the offer document to the public make an application, okay, so he will make an application to one or more recognized stock exchanges, BSE or NSE. Okay, here issuer is the company. Whenever he is going for public issue, he will make an application to the recognized stock exchange. Then if permission is granted, it is well. If permission is not granted means it will repay all the money within 4 days, and if at all it fails to repay that money means with interest rate of 15% per annum it should pay to the investors. Okay, then contracts in derivatives. Okay, so contracts in derivatives, I have said before, derivatives are nothing but the value that is gained on the price of future, okay, on the price of the asset. So traded on recognized stock exchange will be settled on the clearing house of recognized stock exchange. So these derivatives will be cleared where means on recognized stock exchange. So stock exchanges other than recognized stock exchanges prohibited under section 90. Okay, so derivatives can be settled where means only in recognized stock exchange clearing house only. So other than recognized stock exchanges means they are not allowed, they are prohibited. Only recognized stock exchanges can trade these derivatives and settle that clearing houses. Now listing of securities. Okay, conditions for listing of securities is related to section 21 of the act. Means listing of securities, as I said before, it should be listed in the stock exchanges. Okay, then only it is considered as listed company. Okay, now delisting of securities means, so in previous only we have studied listing of securities. Okay, through application, make an application, grant, and if it will not granted permission, it has to repay the amount to the investors. Likewise, okay, if we see the delisting means RSC shall give opportunity of being heard to the company before delisting. Okay, so before delisting means, as I said before, omitting from the stock exchanges, either BSE or NSE. So whenever it is going to be done delisting of a company, RSE, recognized stock exchange, shall give opportunity, okay, of being heard by the to the company before delisting. So before you are delisting the company, so recognized stock exchange should give opportunity. For example, BSE, under BSE there is a company, so the BSE should give opportunity to this company before delisting. So after that, company may file an appeal with SAT, okay, within 15 days. Extension of 1 month also, 1 month also may be given extension, okay. So after that, SAT shall dispose of the appeal as soon as possible and within 6 months. So generally it will take 6 months to clear that case, okay, to dispose that appeal. So after that, SE, stock exchange, will comply with the order of SAT. So according to SAT decision, stock exchange will comply with the order whatever it asked SAT. So according to that, SE will act, okay. Then if dissatisfied with the order of SAT, okay, so for example, if the company is not satisfied with the order given by the Securities Appellate Tribunal, then what happens? If dissatisfied means file an appeal. Dissatisfied means, yes, if at all dissatisfied, then what happens? File an appeal with the Supreme Court, SC, okay, Supreme Court, within 60 days, okay, and other 60 days also extension may be granted for that, okay. And if there is if dissatisfied, this happens, okay. If at all there is no dissatisfaction, means there is no action required, okay, settled there, matter is settled. So this is about the delisting of securities, listing and delisting of securities. Now if you see procedure and powers of SAT, okay, SAT means, we all know, we have studied in SEBI, Securities Appellate Tribunal. So what does this Securities Appellate Tribunal do? Means procedure, summoning and enforcing, okay, summoning and enforcing attendance of any person, means summoning means it asks that particular issuer, or else the investor, if at all it wants, means it can ask them to come before, so they should attend before the SAT. So that is about summoning and enforcing attendance of any person. And the other one is to produce documents, whatever documents it want to refer, so it can ask that issuer or else the investor to produce those relevant documents. Likewise, receiving evidence on affidavits, okay. So it also, if at all it requires, it can ask for to produce the evidences on those affidavits, okay. Likewise, issuing the commissions for examination of documents. So if at all, if it is necessary to examine the documents, means, so it can hire a commission for examination. Likewise, for reviewing also its decisions. Then dismissing of an application for default, okay, dismissing an application for default means, so if at all by the order, if at all that issuer or the investor they have not complied with the according with the orders of the SAT, means, then they will dismiss the application, okay, setting aside any order of dismissal of any application, okay, for default. So every proceeding before SAT shall be deemed to be judicial proceedings within the act, okay. And for the purposes of this act, and SAT shall be deemed to be a civil court. It is considered as a civil court. As civil court has whatever powers civil court has, the same powers will be with SAT, okay. So a right to legal representation. So the appellant may either appear in person, okay, who is appealing, who want to go for SAT, who want to appeal. So that person is known as appellant, and that appellant may either appear in person or authorize any other person on his behalf, okay, like chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant, legal practitioner, or any of the officers or to present his case before the SAT, okay. Means for the purpose of this right to legal representation, chartered accountant, we all know chartered accountant who obtained a certificate practice under this act, okay, or else company secretary, cost accountant, all these, okay. Then so what is the limitation? Means Limitation for right to legal representation. What is the limitation? Means there will be a time limit. Within the specific time they have to appeal in the SAT. Likewise, civil court not to have jurisdiction. As I said before, it has all rights like a civil court for the SAT. So there is no other civil court. Only we have to go for SAT only. Then appeal to after SAT. If at all we are not satisfied with the SAT judgment, then we can appeal to Supreme Court only. SC. Okay. So this is about the right to legal representation. Okay, means any person aggrieved by any decision or order of SAT may file an appeal to Supreme Court within 60 days from the date of communication of the decision or order of the SAT. Okay, now penalties and procedures. Okay, so penalties and procedures means before going to penalties and procedures, we have to see factors while adjudging the quantum of penalty. Okay, so how much penalty we have to levy, it depends upon the factors. What factors? Means unfair gain. If at all he had gained unfairly, then for that what penalty? If at all amount of loss has done to the investor, means so that loss, how much of loss, depending upon that loss, penalty will be levied. Likewise, a repetitive nature. So if even though that alleged person, again and again repeating the same type of nature, again and again doing the same fraud, small practices, means so for that also there will be another type of penalty. So all this depends upon the factors. Okay, so settlement of administrative and civil proceedings. Okay, so here if we see without reasonable excuse fails to comply with any requisitions made, then or else contravenes the provisions, or else enters into any contract in contravention. All these are the reasons. Okay, then penalties will be levied. Okay, so entering into any contract in derivative in contraventions, or else managing, controlling, assisting in keeping any place other than the recognized stock exchange, because we have to act in only recognized stock exchange. Other than that, if we act, means so it is also under penalty. Likewise, if at all we entered into any contract which is contravene, then also penalty. Or else if we are entering into contract in derivative in contravention, so it is also a penalty. Or else not being a member of recognized stock exchange, or else he is not an agent authorized, in such cases also. Okay, it is also a penalty. Or else not being a member of recognized stock exchange, canvassing, advertising, touting, anything is being done, means so it is also considered as a penalty. So for all these, without any prejudice, penalty of adjudication officer under this act on conviction be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 10 years or with fine. Okay, so which may extend to 25 crore rupees or both. Either both fine and imprisonment also may be happened. Okay, so if we see settlement of administrative and civil proceedings, means it depends upon the nature, gravity and impact of default agreed to proposal for settlement by the SEBI. Okay, so it depends upon the nature and the gravity, means the factor, it depends upon that factors. Okay, other thing is recovery of amounts, how the amount will be recovered, means so if at all he fails to pay the penalty, then how we can recover, means by attachment and sale of persons movable and immovable property. Both movable and immovable property we can go for attachment. Okay, attachment of property is nothing but we are seizing their property. Okay, persons bank accounts also, not only properties, bank accounts also. And finally arrest and detention is also made, appointing a receiver for the management of the persons movable and immovable property. If necessary, they can appoint a particularly one person, okay, for dealing this case, okay, for to collect, okay, to receive the person's movable and immovable properties. Likewise, continuance of proceedings, where a person dies, if at all, okay, then what happens, his legal representative shall be liable to pay. Okay, this case is continuing here also. Okay, so in case of default, how we are going to recover that amount? So while in the recovering process, if at all that person dies, then what happens means, when a person dies, his legal representative will be liable to pay that amount. Okay, so crediting sum realized by way of penalties to consolidated fund of India. Okay, where we will all this amount, all this collected penalty amount will be where we will credit this amount, means we will credit this amount in the consolidated fund of India, but not in SCRA or else not in SEBI. Okay, you have to remember this thing. In consolidated fund of India, they will be credited there. Okay, then appeal to SAT. Every appeal should be filed within a period of 45 days from the date on which a copy of the order of decision, okay, and case disposes within 6 months. As I said before, SAT will take at least minimum 6 months to dispose that case. Okay, and every appeal should be filed within a period of 45 days. Okay, that person has to submit that case, he has to go for appeal within 15 days. Appellant has to go within 15 days, and that case should be filed within 45 days. Okay, then afterwards within 6 months we have to dispose that case. SAT has to dispose that case. Then if we see about offenses, okay, so what are offenses? If any person contravenes or abates, means encourage contravention, shall be punishable, means not abiding the rules, so with imprisonment. What is that punishment for this contravention? Means imprisonment for a term which may be extended to 10 years with fine. Okay, or else which may be extended to 25 crores or both. Now, composition of certain offenses means settlement of certain offenses. So what are those offenses? Punishable with imprisonment only, or with imprisonment and also with fine. So what is composition means? Okay, both, either both can be levied, or else imprisonment only can be also made. Okay, with along with fine. Next, contravention by companies. If at all companies made contravention, means against, acting against the provisions of the act, means the in charge of that company will be responsible. Okay, the in charge of the company will be liable. Next one is establishment of special courts. As I said before, here special courts will be there, and there will be a sessions judge and additional judge who are appointed by the central government. Now coming to miscellaneous. So what are those miscellaneous? Entitlement of the investors to dividend declared by the company. Okay, holder of any here if we see about this entitlement of investors to dividend declared by the company, holder of any security whose name appears on the books of the company issuing said security to receive and retain any dividend declared by the company. So holder of the security is considered as the person liable to receive the dividend. Okay, so entitlement to dividend means we have two cases. One is general rule and the other one is exceptional rule. So one is general rule, comes under transferor. Okay, transferor right, that means seller's right. So what is seller's right? General rule, right to retain and receive dividend lies in hands of the registered holder who is having that registration. Okay, that person will receive the dividend. Okay, or else exception rule means transferee, means the purchaser. So he will have the right to get dividend when, means whenever those shares are shifted to the transferee's name of securities, then okay, and proper documents are lodged, then he is he has the right to get those dividends. Okay, then the transfer of securities within 15 days should be done. Okay, within 15 days those transfers should be done, then dividends will be received by the transferee, otherwise transferor only receives. Okay, then extension of time can be granted as follows. Okay, if at all the transferee, we have seen transferor and transferee. If at all the time limit has been due date has been achieved, then extension for 15 days will be given. Okay, then particular, okay, extension will be given in which case, means in case of death of transferee. If at all the transferee is dead, then in such cases time will be extended. Actual period taken by his legal representative to establish his claim to the dividend. So it depends upon the actual person, the dead person. Okay, so that depends upon, and his legal representative can claim that. Next, in case of loss of transfer deed, means by theft. Okay, if at all we have lost the deed, then in that, at that time also 15 days can be granted, and actual period taken from the replacement of transfer deed. In case of delay, okay, due to some okay, due to postal services, if delay has happened, so in that case also 15 days extension will be given. Then, so this is about the delivery. We have already studied types of delivery, means spot delivery, clearing delivery, hand delivery, special delivery. Okay, so delivery means as I said before, the transfer of shares. Okay, so spot, on the same day or the next day, if the delivery and payment of those securities happens, means that is considered as spot delivery. Okay, or else clearing delivery means to be made on the delivery and payment through the clearing house of the stock exchange. Both delivery and payment should be made through what? Through clearing house. Then this is considered as clearing delivery. Okay, hand delivery means physically. Okay, delivery period fixed by the stock exchange authorities, depends upon that. And special delivery means delivery are to be made as delivery date fixed by the stock exchange authorities. So there will be a special delivery date which is fixed by the stock exchange authorities. If at all on that special day only we have to deliver our contracts. Okay, means securities. So purchase and sale of securities deed will happen on that day. Payment and delivery and payment. Okay, so that is a special delivery. So these are the types of delivery regarding the securities issues. Okay, so after this we have to study about the rules under SCRA Act. So up to now this is all about the SCRA Act, and next, on in the next video we are going to study about the rules. Okay.